Raptors needed the win. They got it. They end up winning this one 121-108. They dominate the Orlando Magic all throughout this game and come away with the much needed win, as we said. Let's break it all down for you in tonight's post-game show. The Raptors, they play very well start to finish here. They got out to a big lead early on. They did not let up. Orlando made it look a little bit better later on in the game as it went into garbage time, kind of like the Raptors did 2 nights ago as they got blown out by the Brooklyn Nets, Earlier in the week, the Raptors were blown out by the Pelicans, and it's just been a really rough week for the Raptors after coming off that big win against Cleveland. You hold them to 88 points. You win 100-88. Siakam's back healthy. Barnes back healthy. Getting everybody back other than Porter and Achua. It really seemed like we were taking a turn for the better before 2, again, just blowout losses to the Pelicans and the Brooklyn Nets. People were freaking out. People were panicking really early in the season. Going into this game, there were 60 more games left this year. Tons of basketball to play. But the Raptors, it was yesterday, against the Brooklyn Nets. Back-to-back nights here where we have struggled this season. But listen, if you're going to have a tough game coming off 2 bad losses, if it's going to be a back-to-back, there is maybe no better situation than having a home game against the Orlando Magic, and it's an Orlando Magic team suffering with a lot of injuries here. And the Raptors really showcased their golf in class from start to finish here. Got some outrageous individual performances, had a struggling player really start to find his feet here, and hopefully that is a turn for the better. And we needed this. Bust out of the slump. This is a slump buster sort of game. Yeah, it's only the Orlando Magic, but you can only beat what is in front of you. Today, that was the Magic. Bit of a more difficult stretch coming up. Next 2 games, albeit at home, are against the high-flying Boston Celtics, the best team in the NBA, and the Lakers are looking really good recently before 2 more games against the Magic. So, interesting stretch of games coming up for the Raptors. But you want to hear about this game tonight. So, really, what was cooking? The second half, it's really hard to sort of dictate and analyze how that went because the Raptors were up by so much that they were just kind of being casual out there and they were still dominating proceedings. Late in the game, the Orlando Magic came back as the Raptors kind of put their bench in, but still a double-digit win here. So first half in particular, what got us out to such a lead where we could be so comfy for the rest of the game? I mean, the Raptors, as bad as they were against Brooklyn where they get blown out really, they only lose by 11, but first quarter, lost 41-17. The Raptors, if you'd believe it, won 3 out of 4 quarters in that game. It was just the first quarter was so bad that they end up losing by double digits still. What happened in this game? I thought the ball movement was a lot better, but the biggest thing for me is the shot selection. And OG, who we'll talk about a lot in this one, profited from that big time here. Shot selection in general was excellent. We very rarely were just reverting to mid-range shots. We were shooting threes that were open, but we were really trying to make a stance on getting to the rim. The Orlando Magic have some really rough interior defense that is amplified by the fact that Wendell Carter Jr. missed this game through injury. And getting to the rim with your talented players like OG, who's talented and is stronger than a lot of the guys in the court, picking on his smaller matchups, is going to lead to a ton of buckets. And it did. OG was 9 for 10 from the field to start the game. Now, that did include a made mid-range shot. That did include going 2 for 3 on 3. But that also included 6 for 6 on shots at the rim because he was being aggressive, getting downhill, getting to the rim, taking high percentage shots, not settling in mid-range. That made a difference. Barnes was doing the same, was not settling for threes tonight, was not settling for mid-range shots, was getting to the rim, doing the easy things well, doing the simple things well. That, again, made a difference. Siakam looked like himself. That's where the Raptors find their win. Also, generating tons of steals and turning defense into offense. Let's talk about what exactly went well from the Raptors from an individual standpoint with the box scores here. Siakam, I mean, as casual as can be, 26, 10, and 8 night, another double-double with 3 steals, 9 for 15. Like, you're just so numb to this guy, how good he is, that you don't even really realize when he's putting up stats like that anymore. OG is a star of the night. He goes 12 for 17 with 32 points. Great game. Great game by OG. Equals the second highest total in his career. Career high is 36 points, which he did end up getting against the New York Knicks at MSG on national TV last season. But along with that, 4 assists, 3 steals for the NBA steal leader. He's at 2.3 steals per game. Might bump up to 2.4 or 2.5 after this one tonight. Barnes, much improved. He kind of showed signs of finding his feet last game offensively. Was putting the ball in the basket. That being said, had 7 turnovers to 1 assist. Tonight, it was way better from the player. We've been really wanting Scottie Barnes to have a good game, and we got it. 17 points, 8 for 10 shooting, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, only the 2 turnovers. And what he was doing, he wasn't settling for threes. He took 2 threes, but I don't mind him taking some threes. Wasn't settling in mid-range. Was getting to the rim. Was getting downhill. And you know what? When he had a good matchup, he was finishing. Finally, like the shot that was automatic last season, the post-up turn with the right hand was automatic last season. It looked like it was automatic tonight, but it hasn't at all this season. Further down the starting lineup, Fred, look, he did the job that we needed him to do. He got 7 assists, 13 points. Yeah, the 4 turnovers are bad. Yeah, the 4 for 11 shooting isn't that good. He took it. Look, he did what he had to do tonight. Didn't do too much. Just allowed the other guys like Barnes, Siakam, and Anunoby, who were thriving offensively, allowed them to have the ball and do their thing. But we could use a little bit more from Fred from a shooting standpoint, though 3 for 8 from 3 is still pretty good. Further down the bench, it's hard to really evaluate these guys. A lot of it was garbage time. Wancho only gets 5 minutes because he picked up a bit of an injury in the first half, but I've liked him this season. Trent, weird game, man. You finally think you're getting the best out of Trent. All of a sudden, a 2 for 8 game with 5 points, 1 for 7 from 3. But because he's coming off the bench, it doesn't hurt you as much because you get such good games from your starters. Also, you're just playing such a bad Orlando Magic team. Going to the team stats now. Raptors shoot the ball really well. They pile up on free throws, and they make not a good percentage of them. The stats are kind of skewed here. We were really shooting well early on, but 56 is really good. 31 isn't great. But you win the rebound battle. You actually commit more turnovers. But again, garbage time kind of skewed it. The Raptors were thoroughly dominant in this game. Orlando have now lost 8 in a row, dealing with injuries. You only beat what's in front of you. You played good defense. You played great offense. You get out of the slump by winning this game. That's all we could really ask from this team. You also get an outstanding individual night from OG and from Pascal. You also get a great night on offense from Scottie Barnes. All-around game for Scottie. Wasn't trying to do too much. Was just trying to do the simple things of his game effectively. Was hustling, getting rebounds. That's what you want. That is a Scottie Barnes we've been missing. That is a Scottie Barnes that we need to have as we continue to go onward in the season. But like I said, 2 tougher games coming up. You have the Boston Celtics in your next game. Raptors at home have a phenomenal record, It's a way that's really tanking our record, but we're great at home, though we are playing an absolute beast in the Boston Celtics, who are on pace to shatter the NBA record for offensive rating points for 100 possession. Right now, it's at like 121, which would, again, shatter the all-time NBA record. So that's always going to be a tough game. The Celtics in the recent years have seemed to have had our number. You also get the Lakers, which is not as easy of a game as it would have been 2 weeks ago. They seem to be really finding their feet, especially Anthony Davis looking like an MVP. So 2 tough games to weather. Then you go on the road for 2 games in Florida against this Orlando Magic team. So polarizing stretch of games here. Regardless, the Raptors have spent 0 days this season under 500. That doesn't change here. That won't change whatever happens on Monday, as the Raptors are 1 game above 500 in a very tight Eastern Conference. There's no reason to panic about this team. 59 games to go. Raptors in control of their destiny. Good win tonight. Let's take the positives, use those, and tighten up on defense against those Boston Celtics. So, thank you so much for watching. If you want more Raptors content just like this, make sure you subscribe to both Amateur Hour Sports and Amateur Hour Clips. And be sure to have liked this if you did enjoy and you want to support that channel that little bit more. It takes you a second to drop a like on the video, but it does help me out with my content a lot.